Adam Johnson, founder and author of the Bullseye Brief, and he says, in addition to some buys, you have some sells. Bank of America, Intel,
sacrilege.
Salesforce. People love these companies, Adam Johnson.
I know.
Okay, before we get to your sells, let's talk about just what your market feeling is these days. I mean, how are you feeling overall about the market?
I feel great about the market. Which may strike some as ironic given the fact that I'm selling some of these wonderful things. But here's what's happening right now. I think a lot less about the market as a whole and instead about my particular stocks. You know, I'm a story guy. I'm a stock picker. American ingenuity is my thing. People and companies changing the world. I like to explore how they're doing it, tell those stories, and then I like to tell my subscribers which of those stocks I'm buying. That's Bullseye Brief, right? But here's the thing, Nicole, and this gets at your first issue about the sales. Every time I go out and buy a company, buy a stock, I set a target. And we've had such a run right now in the market. And yes, I continue to like the market. But a bunch of my names are approaching their targets. Bank of America, my target's 35. It's 33. Intel, my target is 60. It's 58. Lumentum, oh my gosh, I love Lumentum, but we're now within $1 of that target. So, you know, if Salesforce.com, I think I've got about another probably $15. So I will sell half of my positions.
Lumentum ticker's LITE, right? L-I-T-E?
Correct, L-I-T-E.
Yeah.
They're the guys who make the lasers that enable facial recognition on every single iPhone product.
So as you talk about these stocks hitting your targets, it's not that you don't like the companies or don't like what they're doing, it's just that they've run up. You basically select a target based on I'm sure tons of fundamentals, including to PE and things like that.
Sure.
You know, so Bank of America, Lumentum, Intel, and also Salesforce, which is a little farther away.
Yeah, a little farther away.
You know, Sarge, Stephen Guilfoyle, just said much of the same. He said that he has more cash in his book than he's even used to because stocks have run up. So with cash, what would you do with it now? I mean, you have a lot of energy names that you like, right?
I have a handful of energy names. Two favorites that come to mind, EOG and Pioneer. Pioneer is #1 in the Permian Basin, where Exxon and Chevron have said they want to get bigger. So I think actually Pioneer PXD is a potential takeout. But I happen to also like the fact that they have the highest quality property and the lowest cost. But they can produce oil for like $26. That's their break even.
Well, you also have, I saw LNG is in there, Freeport McMoRan, which is more copper, but...
Okay, let me address each one of those because they're different. Cheniere, ticker LNG, I'm very excited about it. This company has had 7 round trips in 2 years. You buy it around 58, you sell it around 68. Cheniere is a company that takes U.S. natural gas, compresses it down several hundred times to make it much smaller and easier to manipulate. They put it in ships, they send it to Asia, and they sell it. It's a back-to-back trade. In other words, they're buying natural gas at one price, and they've already pre-sold it at another. They're just locking in a margin, a spread. It should not trade with the price of oil, but it does. LNG is an exciting trade. Freeport, and it's trading right now like 60, so it's close to where I'll buy it. Freeport, ticker FCX, is the largest publicly traded copper producer in the world. It's my proxy for a U.S.-China deal of some sort. It's going to be a light deal, but it's still my proxy. I want to own Freeport under $10. Right now, I think today it's probably trading $10.99. Yeah, I want to own it under 10. Anywhere really, ideally, from 9 to 10, and I'll look to sell that again. Always set a target, $14. And you say, well, that's not very much. But I'd say, actually, hang on. If you could buy something at 9 and sell it at 14, that's, 40, 45%. Just do that all day long. So, again, I look more at stocks and at the market as a whole, and there's always an opportunity out there.
And Freeport McMoRan is just named a top pick, too, just because the idea is as the global economy improves, copper will be needed because it really fundamentally is used for building and infrastructure and everything like that. How about the Real? That's an exciting one. I saw Wells Fargo had a nice price target. They put a $29 target on it. What are your thoughts? Real selling real Chanel bags.
Yes. Okay, this is going to sound funny. When I first heard about this company, it IPO'd, and basically this is the largest, I call it the eBay for the 1%. Right? You know, if you have a Chanel bag, if you have an Hermes scarf, if you have all these sort of high-end products and you want to sell them and they're in great condition, instead of going to eBay, you go to the Real, and they effectively will take 1/3 of the price, but they will get you top dollar for it. And so walking into a Real store, of which there's several, beautiful one on Madison Avenue here in New York, or going online.
I didn't realize they actually have a Real store.
It's gorgeous.
Brick and mortar.
It's beautiful.
On Madison Avenue.
It's one of of the nicest stores on Madison Avenue. They just opened. It's really sharp.
I'm going to have to swing by there and check it out. I want to see what they're really doing.
Exactly.
And plus
Thank you.
their authentication is top-notch.
They authenticate 14,000 items per day. And then, all those pretty photos of items, whether it's on eBay or Carvana or anywhere else you go, they have actually figured out now how to do that using AI. So they literally will put each item in this booth that has 3D photographing technology. AI determines which angle is best. They make it look three-dimensional. They shade it, all that. You don't need photographers. So their margins are incredibly high. Exciting company. It IPO'd, traded up, then traded down, broke the IPO price, and I'm just getting in now. Again, there's a price at which you buy these things, and there's a price at which you sell it. I think it's a double from here.
With the ones that you were selling, we were within the target, $1 or $2.
Yeah.
Salesforce was a different story. You said you were a little farther away from your target, but you're getting ready to sell it, right?
Yeah, 175 is probably the price at which I'll sell that. And whenever I set a target, it's based on, it depends on the individual company. It might be a multiple of sales. It might be a multiple of earnings. It might be a multiple of book in the case of a bank. Just looking at the sales growth at Salesforce.com and the fact that they're no longer the only company out there crunching data to help other companies.
It's at 162 and change, so 175 is still a ways away.
You can still make, a little something, $10, $12. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't buy it here thinking it's going to 250. I mean, okay, fine, it might in 5 years, but...
Right. Right. All right.
Who has 5 years, Nicole?
Exactly. And, we got to keep moving. We got to keep the stocks hot.
And that's what's exciting.
And you say there is no alternative. You got to be in these stocks, but set the targets and know when you want to sell.
Yeah. Right now, that's a theme for the U.S. Tina, there is no alternative. TINA. The other one is FOMO, fear of missing out, because that's what's pushing things right now to year end.
Right. It's so true. Adam Johnson, founder and author of The Bullseye Brief.